Basically, marketers and innovation managers distinguish between two types of important needs: expressed needs and latent needs. Expressed needs are more immediate ones. Customers are well aware of these and are prepared to voluntarily convey them to any company. Calling customer service and complaining about a product's disappointing performance is just one way of doing so. Customers might call to say that the preset program for making smoothies on their new jug blender does not mix an orange juice or an orange nut smoothie satisfactorily. Or they ask why the yellow button on the right side indicating that the jug needs to be purified keeps blinking even after they have run the relevant program. The customer service will, of course, try to fix the consumer's problem immediately by, for example, sending her smoothie preparation process tips or by exchanging a malfunctioning machine. However, if complaint information is analyzed in aggregate form, this could also help the company innovate. A marketer or product manager of an electronic home appliances company can, for example, examine the complaint statistics and categorize the complaints into those about functional performance, ease of use, and the design quality. Subsequently, she can identify the most often mentioned complaints and, jointly with R&D, develop solutions that ensure that whatever causes such complaints is fixed in the next generation machine. Surveying customers to ascertain their satisfaction with brands, services, and product features is another way of identifying explicit needs. The customer of the before mentioned electronic home appliances company might, for instance, be bothered by blender's noise level, while another one might be dissatisfied with its blending quality. This could encourage the company to produce a family of jug blenders to include a low noise version and one with a sufficiently strong motor to crush a mass of ice and nuts. Latent needs are a second type of needs. They are needs that are potentially important for your target group, although your customers find it difficult to articulate these needs. These customers might be unaware that they have such needs or are unable or unwilling to tell you about them. Whatever the case, they are unarticulated future needs. But when you produce a product that satisfies a latent need, customers are not only very happy, but also spend willingly. Your product is exactly what they had implicitly always wanted, which is why latent needs are also referred to as hidden needs. Let's look at examples of a latent need that Unilever, the British-Dutch consumer goods company, identified. Among the identified latent needs in India were sustainable products that create income for people in the community and increase consumers' health. You can understand this need as latent because few consumers back then saw a link between Unilever's products and the possibility to solve specific community challenges. In 2015, the company teamed up with NGOs to educate communities about hygiene in order to avoid trachoma, which is the world's biggest yet preventable cause of blindness, and to reduce the number of children dying from diarrhea caused by unsafe water, poor sanitation and hygiene. Using soap to wash their hands is a simple, low-cost health intervention. Unilever therefore ran initiatives like the Hand Wash Day, when they reached out to students to teach children in poorer communities about the importance of hand washing. The company also helped micro-entrepreneurs in deprived areas inform their community about hygiene issues while earning a living from selling Unilever's products. Women started selling small quantities of soap powder, earning money and contributing to their community's cleanliness. All these initiatives help promote Unilever's Lifebuoy soap and help the company explore options beyond its traditional business model, such as supporting water centers and building sanitary centers with the community's help. Latent needs are not limited to business-to-consumer markets. In my work with a leading European manufacturer of construction machinery, we conducted in-depth discussions with excavator drivers. At first, the drivers only suggested obvious excavator improvements, such as a more flexible power tilt. That is this item at the lower end of the grappler, and new kinds of attachment tools, such as bigger grab buckets, stronger shears to cut bulky materials, etc. All of these were their expressed needs. After a while, however, they opened up and started talking about their personal experiences at building sites. These were often very touching accounts. And as soon as one started talking, others related their stories too. They talked about accidents, safety, loneliness, their isolation from the other building workers, their self-identity, and their feeling that others did not value their job sufficiently. They also talked about manufacturers' excavator design, mocked some design, and agreed that an excavator is a powerful machine and has to look like one. They mentioned that they wanted to feel proud when entering their excavator, but that so many issues prevented them from feeling this. One issue was that although their machines cost a fortune, they did not have a unique electronic immobilizer, and even kids could unlock them easily. They suggested a unique access authorization system, as this would, they said, increase kid safety and function as an anti-theft measure. However, their stories revealed that their hidden reason for wanting such a system was their latent need for a device that would give them self-esteem and empower them. It is important that managers understand that the drivers do not specifically want a unique access system, but that their excavator needs to reflect and satisfy their longing for self-esteem. Certainly, it is up to the managers to decide whether a unique system really is the best for access, really is the best way of satisfying the driver's latent needs. Now that we know what expressed and latent needs are, why do they matter? What could be the potential advantages or disadvantages of meeting expressed needs instead of latent ones? As the name expressed needs suggests, and the examples illustrate, they are simply what customers say they want, and they are quite easy to provide. This might seem to be an advantage. Customers' expressed needs are identified, job done, right? But the drawback is that your competitors too know about these needs. Since expressed needs are easy to provide, all market players are, to a greater or lesser extent, aware of them. If you have smart R&D people who are the first to produce a superior technology, a technology that satisfies an explicit need, well, most certainly you might win a short-term advantage. But your competitors will always be hard on your heels. Latent needs, to the contrary, are difficult to discover, and those who are better at doing so will leap ahead of their competition and create a sustainable competitive advantage. As this is an enticing promise of latent needs, let us now look at ways to identify latent needs. Thinking about what you would want if you were the consumer is a potential way of identifying latent needs. In this context, I want to confront you with rather interesting research undertaken by Hattula and colleagues. They carried out a battery of experiments in which they asked managers to develop different products and services, such as a new car model and a sandwich option, and to think about features customers might want to see in those products. In addition, they gathered background information on the manager's own likes or dislikes of specific features. They found that managers tend to believe that customers want what they themselves want. In further experiments, the researchers split managers randomly into two groups and encouraged one group to empathize with their customers. In other words, they asked them to describe a typical customer for a product offering and imagine that person's thoughts and reactions, which involved imagining the customers, for example, buying sandwiches at a cafe. Surprisingly, the predictions about what customers wanted corresponded even stronger with the matched manager's personal preferences. The managers actually visualized themselves walking into a store or a cafe, and this mental image guided their subsequent decisions strongly. Unfortunately, this image did not help the managers predict customers' desires well. Instead, it increases their egocentrism in that they thought that the customer's preferences are the same as theirs. So obviously, putting themselves in their customers' shoes did not work. But gathering real customer insights is an option that does work well. Tools to help managers gain such insights are, among others, ethnography, nethnography, Saltman metaphors, and the repertory grid technique.